Welcome back to the channel. Today I have again, this is a response video because it's one of those things. I get questions all the time, and sometimes they're not questions, they're comments. And this time the comment I got is, well, don't you pretty much have to be rich to afford a Tesla? It's one of those things that you really do have to consider before you talk sometimes. But I get this quite a bit. I'm sure many of you have heard it. You know, you have to be rich to get a Tesla, and it's not true. Now, I understand not everybody can get a Tesla. I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to tell you guys that, you know, anybody can go out there and just get a Tesla. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, majority of the people who want a Tesla can afford a Tesla. The same way you can afford a big screen TV, the same way you can afford to buy a house, the same way you can afford to do anything. And that is through dedication. Work hard, save up, so forth and so on. Can most people afford a Model X or a Model S? Probably not. They are quite expensive, and you know, with the price being as high as they are, it is out of reach for most people. And you know, if you look at the sales figures for Model S and X, it kind of shows you that. However, we do have the Model 3 in play here, and the Model 3 is something that gives people the chance to afford a Tesla. Does that mean that anybody can just go out there and afford it? No. Again, it's still higher than the price of most vehicles out there, and I'm not trying to deny the fact that it's not a higher price range. What I am trying to say is, basically, at the end of the day, if people want something bad enough, they can achieve it. They can get it. And you know, having those comments that I get so often with regards to only rich people can afford Teslas, well, I can debunk this the easy way, and that is simply go down to any Tesla supercharger, talk to the people there, and find out, you know, just ask them, are they rich? And you'll see majority of the people aren't. And so I did this. I went out, and while I was a supercharger for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I kind of asked around a little bit, you know, tried to figure out what people like and don't like, and at the same time wanted to figure out if ultimately what they do. That's really what I was trying to get at. And for those of you who watch my channel, I know a few of you have subscribed. I'm sure you kind of got the point. I'm pretty sure you kind of got that I was going there, and if you didn't, I'm sorry. I was being a little bit dishonest, because my ultimate goal was to try and figure out what everybody does. And the biggest surprise to me was a lot of the Model S owners were not making, you know, their yearly income or their field, their job was actually very similar to the people who were who had Model 3s. And you know, I am not somebody, I don't know what, I don't own multi-million-dollar corporations. That's not why I drive a brand new Tesla Model S. I work hard in my life, and I work hard continuously, and by trade, by my day job, I guess, not, you know, YouTube, my day job, I'm a contractor. You know, I renovate places. That's what I do. And yes, there is good money to be made in it, but yes, my body also pays a price for it. You see, the problem is most people imagine that everything is easy to get if you have money. The more money you have, the more money you spend. It's the old saying that's very true. And if you want a Tesla, if you truly honestly want a Tesla, you can have one. It's not impossible. Some of the recent people that I went just recently and helped them buy their first Model 3, and you know, I asked them what they do. Mind you, I already kind of knew, but I asked them what they do, and you know what, I got people that are basically doing a basic job every day, 9 to 5, not a crazy paid job. And they still manage to go out there and buy their Model 3, their Tesla Model 3. So ultimately it comes down to the fact that I agree, not everybody can afford one, but no, you don't have to be rich to buy one. You simply have to have the drive to want it bad enough that you're gonna save up and you'll do whatever it takes. There's a lot of people who make sacrifices in order to own, you know, that BMW they wanted or that Mercedes they wanted. Ultimately, that's the same thing with the Tesla. If you make a few little sacrifices here and there, if you want it bad enough, you can buy one, you can get one. And don't forget with Teslas is that initial price. It's that initial price that really, really hurts people. That's where they're, you know, it's such a high amount. But you can finance it, you can lease it if you choose to. So it's not as impossible as most people would like to believe it is. And again, I keep going back to that thing. You don't have to be rich to own one. You simply have to want one bad enough. And if you want it, you will get it. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but you can plan ahead. And within 3 years, the average person should be able to get it if they work hard enough. There's a gentleman that lives not that far from me and about 2 districts over. And I met him at a supercharger. The kid is 27 years old. He's up to his neck in debts. Well, mainly school debts. And you know, he decided that he wanted a Tesla, and he just got it, I believe last Friday or last Thursday. He finally got one. And I asked him, well, how? Because you still have so much this. And he says, you know what, I was renting at a, you know, in a bigger place, and I was paying so much more rent. I decided to downgrade because when I'm not working, I want to be out there and driving. I've always had a passion for driving, he says. And he does 2 jobs. And you know, this is a person who's working 2 jobs, could easily put money towards other things, but chooses to put money towards what he loves, what he wants bad enough. And that is the Tesla in this case. I've had a number of people I talked to at the superchargers who basically said, you know what, I simply made the calculations to what made sense to me. And in the long term, a Tesla makes sense. In the short term, well, it's a lot of money to put out. So ultimately, I think everybody is going to have their own views on what they should or shouldn't do, or why they should or should not buy a Tesla. I don't think there's many Tesla owners that will push it on you, that will say, you know what, this is the only way you should go. In the real world, most Tesla owners will tell you, do what you think is right for you. If you think you can afford one, do it. If you don't think you can afford one, don't do it. Don't put yourself in a position where you're basically going to be struggling. But again, it goes back to the simplest thing where, do you have to be rich to afford a Tesla? And it doesn't really matter how you look at it. You don't have to be rich. You have to be smart, and you have to be hardworking. And even then, any car, not just a Tesla, any car, some people simply cannot do. You know, there's family to consider. Family always comes first. There are many, many different things to consider for every single person. Every single individual is different. I happen to know a number of people that, you know, they could afford a Tesla. They really shouldn't. They have better places they can put their money. But, and I know very, very hardworking people who are just going nuts, working every day, 2, some cases, 3 jobs. Mind you, not full-time on all of them, but, you know, they're working crazy hours. And no matter how much they work, they simply could not afford a Tesla. And that's the truth. Not everybody will get there. But thinking that you have to be rich to buy the car is the wrong approach. Thinking that you want the car and working towards it is the right approach. I hope I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, and I'm not trying to say that everybody can do it. Like I said, there are so many people that I personally know that are such hardworking people And I know for a fact that there's just no way they'll be able to actually afford to buy not just a Tesla, but even a $20,000, $30,000 car. It's just the way that things are in their life. So again, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. I'm not trying to insult anybody, and I'm not trying to say everyone can afford these cars. What I'm trying to say is you don't have to be rich. If you want it bad enough, the majority of the people can get it if they want it bad enough. And like I said, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not 3 years down the road. But if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. It's not impossible. Work towards it and make it happen. Ultimately, the things that come easy are the things you don't appreciate. When you have to work hard for something and work extra hard, you have to put that blood, sweat, and tears into something. That's really when you truly, honestly appreciate that item, when you're finally able to get it. And I think that's kind of one of those important things that many people forget. For a lot of people, when things come very easy, they don't appreciate those things. They really don't, because it's just another thing that they got. For the people who work hard for it and do everything in their power to get it, they have such a high level of appreciation for that item. Ultimately, I want to know what you think. I do want to encourage people that if they want it bad enough, to go out there and think positively. You can get one, and no, you don't have to be rich. You just have to have a little bit of, well, it depends on your lifestyle, let's put it that way. I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I truly appreciate your comments, your support. The channel is growing. I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get it up to 1,000 subscribers, and more videos to come soon. So till then, drive safe, work hard, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.